Hello, hello. Welcome, new class of Calculus AB 2018-2019. It's gonna be a fun time. Woo! Okay, sorry, I'm being too energetic. Today, I'm going to try and help you get a 5, give you some advice for the rest of the year, because it's gonna be very fun. I'll just jump right into it. Here's some advice. I broke it down into sections. Okay. So for the class overall, my number one thing, it sounds kind of obvious, but you have to pay attention. You have to focus in math class in like a different way than in the other classes. Like in your other classes, you could be like a little more chilled. Like if you miss something, you could kind of like pick it up at home, review the textbook, whatever. But in math class, you kind of always have to be on your game because everything that you learn is going to matter for the AP test. Each lesson counts, so just stay focused, but that's just like a general thing that probably everyone tells you. Another tip I have is to not get frustrated when you don't get like a specific thing during a lesson, like maybe it's like a particular concept or maybe it's an example or something. Whatever it is, don't let it make you have a negative attitude that will stop you and prevent you from learning the rest of the lesson, or else it's going to be way harder when you get home to relearn everything. Even if it seems a little bit hard at some parts, you just got to keep going. Another thing is that when it does get hard, you have to seek help immediately. Even if you just feel like a little shaky on a piece of material, even if it's just like a little bit, it's better and easier to solve a problem that you have when it's small. Don't wait for it to grow and then ask for help then. No, just solve it when it's small and it will be a lot easier for you and for the people that are helping you. There's tons of resources. You could go to tutoring, you could use, but you could ask the BC people that are in Calculus BC, ask them for help. You could ask your fellow peers in AB. You could go online, you could look in your prep book for like certain material. Just whatever it is, don't wait until the problem is already too huge and you're just not understanding anything anymore. Seek help immediately once you just feel a little shaky. Also though, when you're asking like Mr. Omasuga or your fellow peers like questions about the material, don't just be like, I don't get anything. Like, there's no way that someone can help you if that's what you say. Try to get like I keep saying like, okay. Try to have specific questions that they would be able to answer you, and that will help you more because it will be like a direct response. My next suggestion is about homework. Honestly, all you have to do is do the homework. Don't be tempted to just use Slater and check it off on your homework list that you got it done. Like, actually put in the time to understand it. What I usually do for my math homework is before I start it, I will read through or just glance over the notes that I took from that day, and then I will begin the homework. That way I have everything fresh in mind and I can complete it to like the best of my abilities. And then also, when you're done with the homework, go back and correct it so that way you know what you're still not getting right. And then don't just correct it and be like, oh, wrong. No. You want to be able to completely understand how that problem was solved. Okay, so now I'm going to give you some tips for studying for the Calculus AB test, or any math test in general, actually. First of all, you have to study. Like, so many people hate studying for math tests, and they're all like, oh, but if I study, I just lose all the information, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you're like a genius, fine. Don't study, whatever. My first tip is to, 1, get a study buddy, someone that works at your same pace in math, and that way you guys could help each other when one person doesn't get things and then the other person doesn't get it. Hopefully you guys can complement each other. And my second tip is the one that I do before every test. So whenever a test is announced, I schedule in some time for myself to be able to read through every single note that's been taken in that chapter. And that way I just know I'm fully prepared. Even if I think that I already am prepared, that I already know everything in that chapter, I still read through it just to make sure. And when I come across things that are a little shaky, then I'll do some examples from that section, maybe an example in the notebook, or find the homework from that section, just to reassure myself that I know how to do it. After I reread through every note, then I will do the reviews. If you're gonna do this studying method, I strongly recommend that you read through the notes first before doing the reviews, because that way you're in the exact mindset that you will be on test day, and you could see how you would perform on the test by now doing the review. And then obviously correct the review, see what stuff you still would have gotten wrong, and you could fix it right there. But yeah, that's the studying strategy that I use for pretty much every math test that I've taken in high school, and it works pretty well. You just can't get lazy. It takes me usually about 3 to 4 hours, but it's worth it, I think. But I also use that strategy for every final or math final that I've taken in high school, and it also works really well. I reread through every note that's been taken during the semester, but I obviously can't do that over one night, so I schedule it over like a weekend. I recommend that too if you have struggles with math finals. I also did that for the AP test, but that is definitely not something you want to do the night before. That's something you want to do like in the beginning portion of the reviewing section of the class. So right when review starts, you just want to schedule some time at home for you to just review all the notes and remember everything that you've learned. So now, some tips for studying for the AP test specifically. What I did is I kept all my tests and quizzes, and this made it really easy for me to, when it became time to review for the AP test, to look back and to see what I was good at and what I was bad at. The stuff you get wrong on the test, like the school test, the classroom test, are the things that you got incorrect even after studying, even after learning it and reviewing it and doing the homework on it. Those are the things that you really need to work on, so it makes it really easy to prioritize which lessons to review first. Like I said before, you should review your notes, but even more importantly than that is to actually do the review packets that Mr. Amasuga gives you once the review section of the class begins, which are actually just previous AP test exams. And that will make you really familiar with the language of the test. A lot of people last year would say how they knew how to do the problems, they just didn't know what the question was asking. But by practicing and actually completing all those AP test practice exams that he gives you, you'll be able to understand the test language and know when to use what, know what the question's asking, and understand the patterns of the AP test. Oh, also, when you're doing those packets, correct them actively. So don't just mark it off, mark it wrong, and then circle the correct answer. Correct them actively, as in write notes, redo them, make sure you understand it. Okay, just a few things for specific math problems. Don't be afraid of the free response questions. You guys are going to be practicing them throughout the entire year, so you'll be totally familiar with the language of the questions. You'll be fine. Overall, just have fun, stay positive throughout the year, even if you have like challenges. If you're negative, it's going to be so much harder to perform on tests, to focus, to even want to try during the math class. If you keep a positive attitude, it'll be a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable, a lot more possible. Also, just trust Mr. Amasuga. He knows what he's doing. Everything that he teaches you is valuable. Each lesson really does count. So yeah, nothing you're learning is worthless. Just remember that. And yeah, have fun. I hope you guys all get 5s. Woo! Shoot. How does... Oh, damn it. My mom is going to kill me.